And the mission of how I started podcasting and started Special Chronicles is giving respect and voice to those of us with special needs. I became an athlete leader of Special Olympics Illinois, and when I recorded the audio of the speeches that I was given and putting those up as podcasts, I soon received messages of encouragement, and I learned that it was a powerful platform and really helping to make a difference in people's lives. 12 years ago, I didn't expect that anybody would want to even listen to me. We have over 42,316 listeners per month. It's a humbling experience. I'm really grateful to make a difference in other people's lives. Coming up this week on the Special Chronicles Show, episode 443, we're on the road to Special Olympics 2022 USA Games with Special Olympics New York athlete Katy Sanchez joining us in conversation about Special Olympics 2022 USA Games, athlete leadership, blogging, and inclusion coming up this week on SpecialChronicles.com.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Podcasting since 2008. This is the show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to find and joy, acceptance, and inclusion.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome back to the Special Chronicles Show. My name is Daniel, founder of Special Chronicles and the Southern Survival International Global Messenger Special Olympics. So good to be back behind the microphone. And as we kick off the show, I want to just let you know briefly at the start of the program today that the Special Chronicles Show is presented by the ComEd Energy Voice Ambassador Program. Go to specialchronicles.com/ComEd to learn more about our partner. And if you want to donate to help us produce this podcast, specialchronicles.com/give is where you can go. All the links will be in the description, in the links below, and specialchronicles.com, where you can go to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. And I'm so excited to welcome as we continue our 2022 USA Games series. Please put your virtual hands together as we welcome Katy Sanchez to the Special Chronicles Show. Welcome, Katy.
Hi, my name is Katy Sanchez, and I'm part of Team New York for the 2022 US Games. I am representing. I'm going to play track and field,
awesome.
running long distance.
Awesome.
So shot put.
Awesome. So we'll get into
1500, 800 in the shot put.
Awesome. So we'll get into a little bit more of your story. I was gonna tease our listeners a little bit, but we'll get into a little bit more. You have been a returning guest on this podcast. You've been on podcast a few times in the past.
Yes.
You've written some blogs to us on specialchronicles.com.
Yep.
I think I have that banner up here on the screen. Yeah, specialchronicles.com/Katy Sanchez if people want to read any of your blogs. But what some of our new long-term listeners may have heard the story before, but for any of our new listeners, we'll let you all know that we first met, and I was just telling, in LA. I was just telling my mentor that we were at the final leg of the torch run, and I was going around with my personal assistant, my camera guy. And you came up to me and said that you already knew about Special Chronicles, and right.
Hold on.
And you've been following us at Special Chronicles, so that's pretty. That was a pretty fun time in Los Angeles. I'm going to go ahead and as Katy closes the door or something, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. Oh, Katy, not okay. I was going to take a quick break, but I was just telling the listeners that when we first met in person in Los Angeles, I don't know, about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, you already knew about Special Chronicles, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So before we get into your introduction, that we could just take a quick 30-second break. When we come back, our conversation with Katy Sanchez, who is one of the athletes going to the 2022 USA Games, and continues after the break right here on SpecialChronicles.com.
International Podcast Day is September 30th, and you can help spread the word. You may be asking, what can I do to get involved? It's pretty simple. Head over to internationalpodcastday.com and check the suggestions. Then use hashtag International Podcast Day to join the conversation. You can reach out and connect with other podcasters, listeners, and your favorite podcast hosts. Remember September 30th, International Podcast Day, a day-long celebration of the power of podcasts.
Guest on the Special Chronicles show this week is this is episode 443. Is Katy Sanchez calling in all the way from Special Olympics, New York. So, Katy, for any long-term listeners may remember you from a previous episode, or maybe they read one of your blogs on specialchronicles.com/blog. But we introduce yourself to our listeners, tell us the disability you're diagnosed with, your connection to our disability community, and your role within our Special Olympics movement.
Hi, my name is Katy Sanchez, and I'm from the Special Olympics, New York. I'm an athlete leader. I'm an athlete ambassador. I talk about Special Olympics, and I spread the inclusion to my community and stuff like that, because Special Olympics is a wonderful organization, and not only helps you with sports, it helps you be independent. It helps you with everything.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a wonderful.
It helps you with health.
Awesome.
It helps you to be included in the community.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, for people like you and me and the over 6 million other athletes across the globe, the movement and the organization does so much for us. Not just the obvious in sports, but like you said, in health and in the leadership programs and in education programs as well. So let's go ahead and we're going to kind of push back that break in just a little bit, but get into a little bit of your backstory as a Special Olympics athlete. Tell us, for any new listeners, a little bit about your backstory and your early years growing up with a disability, and any of the challenges, joys, and accomplishments because of your disability. So your early years.
Well, my early years, I was in special ed classes from kindergarten to 12th grade, but I was smart enough to graduate it with a standard diploma in high school in 2006. So it was in high school, middle school, and middle school, I was having a hard time making friends. I was always get left behind. And then when I joined Special Olympics, I was included. It made me feel good. So I was included. I know I could be included in the community as well. and I branched out. So because of Special Olympics, I am here today.
Awesome, great, powerful story. And because of, as we all know, because of your disability, because of the disability that we are diagnosed with, we have challenges, but we also have joys and accomplishments. So, what else can you maybe share with us? Some of, hopefully, it's not too painful, but maybe some of the challenges and then the joys and accomplishments because of. I mean, I'm sure it's like you. I have not in my studio here, but in the room that's right next door to my studio. I've got a whole bunch of medals hanging up, and I'm sure just like you as well in your room, you've got a bunch of medals, and that's definitely a lot of accomplishments that we probably share. But what are some of the joys and accomplishments because of your disability, Katie?
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. What are some of the challenges and joys and accomplishments because of your disability?
It's challenges are just I don't think I have any challenges.
All right. So then what are some of the joys and accomplishments because of, like, what are some of the joys and accomplishments that you have had in your life?
I really don't know.
Like is like for example, like not in my studio,
I
but
really never had problems with my disability. It's only making friends.
okay, awesome. Would some of the accomplishments be like receiving
My
a
accomplishment,
lot of medals?
my accomplishment is running the 2019 New York City Marathon.
Oh, that's a big accomplishment. Have audience applaud for that.
I did it for Special Olympics New York and Achilles. Achilles is like Special Olympics, but it's like unified running.
Awesome. So that's a big accomplishment, doing a marathon. So awesome. Can you give us maybe some highlights of some of your life experiences? I mean, that marathon is a big accomplishment, and that's a big life. But have you had any other life experiences?
No, that was my first marathon.
Okay.
This was my first marathon, and I finished in 6 hours.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
And speaking of the marathon, maybe like I'm not a big runner, but for maybe we might have some listeners that are, and maybe they have not done a marathon yet. Is there any advice that you have, or any tips that you have that you have had from training for the marathon that you can share?
If you have 2 legs, you can run.
Awesome.
Just put the step out of the door. Anybody could run. It takes your mind. It takes all your mind to get out the front door and run.
On doing another marathon, or like there was an athlete I think down in Florida, Chris Nickage, I think his name is. He won a couple SB awards. He did that Ironman. Are you planning on doing anything like that, or?
Mm-hmm.
Or doing another marathon, or like the Boston?
Maybe after the USA Games. Right now, my focus is training for the 2022 USA Games, and
yeah, so that's a good transition.
And after the 2022 USA Games, and I'll focus on training for a marathon.
Awesome. So, just for our listeners, we'll get into a little bit more about Katie's experience, Katie's training for the USA Games after the break. But first, one kind of final thing to kind of wrap up this first segment is, how has your life experiences that you've had from that marathon and your years growing up in school, how has your life experiences and your experiences in Special Olympics shaped the person that you are today?
Wonderful. I would not be the person without Special Olympics. I gave Special Olympics 100% credit.
Awesome. Great. So hopefully, if those of you that are listening are not yet involved, maybe you would like to become a coach, become if
coach, a volunteer, or even a unified athlete.
Awesome. So, if you're listening and you're in the state of New York, Special Olympics-ny.org is where you can go to get involved. Or if you want to get involved in the 2022 USA Games, 2022 Special Olympics USAGames.org. That's 2022 Special Olympics USAGames.org. All the links to get involved will be in the description in the show notes below. You'll see that link for specialchronicles.com/podcast443 to get involved. We're going to go ahead and take a short break, Katie, and just to thank our supporters and because if it wasn't for our supporters, we wouldn't be able to be behind the microphone. When we come back from the break, we'll get into all about Katie's sports experiences and talking all about the upcoming 2022 USA Games happening in Orlando in June 2022. So in less than a year from now. All that, our conversation with Katy Sanchez continues after the break right here on the Special Chronicles show on specialchronicles.com. We'll be right back. Friends, podcast listener friends, I'd like to take a brief moment to let you know about how awesome StreamYard is. StreamYard is the easiest way to create professional live streams. StreamYard is a live streaming studio in your browser. Interview guests, share your screen, and much more. Stream directly to Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and other platforms. Sign up for StreamYard and get $10 in credit with our referral link at specialchronicles.com/StreamYard. That's specialchronicles.com/StreamYard. You see the link right below on the screen here, and also will be in the show notes in the description below. But all of us at Special Chronicles, we love StreamYard. I've got a coffee mug I'm drinking coffee out of. Got a t-shirt on. I've got a sweatshirt. This StreamYard Puddles plush duck. Puddles the duck here in the studio, and just really love it. Makes really love StreamYard. It makes it easy to connect with guests. Just send guests the link to join StreamYard, and easily have a professional logo and banners and graphics, and it just makes it easy to pre-record, to live stream on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Really love StreamYard. It's helped to make the audio podcasts and the video versions of the audio podcasts that I've been doing for the past 13 years. It's helped to make the video versions up to the next level, to a more professional level, while also making it easy to live stream. So all of us at Special Chronicles love StreamYard. Once again, if you want to sign up with StreamYard, specialchronicles.com/StreamYard. That's specialchronicles.com/StreamYard to sign up and get $10 in credit with our referral link. I hope you all will sign up for StreamYard, and happy live streaming. And until then, sign up for StreamYard and get $10 in credit with our referral link at specialchronicles.com/StreamYard. That's specialchronicles.com/StreamYard. And now back to the show. And we're back. All right. This is Daniel, founder of Special Chronicles and Southern Tribal International Global Messenger of Special Olympics. Our guest is Katy Sanchez. Welcome back, Katy. Let's get into now a little bit more about your experiences in Special Olympics. So tell us briefly how you first got involved in Special Olympics New York and what you enjoy about your involvement with Special Olympics.
Well, first I involved in Special Olympics. I kind of moved up. I started Special Olympics in Virginia, and then it got transferred to everything to New York. So I signed up for the same sports that I did in Virginia, and the rest is history. I competed in the 2014 USA Games, and I am going to the 2022 USA Games. And I'm going to Disney World.
Well, that's a good transition. Awesome. So tell us about, and I've never competed at USA Games yet, but hopefully in the future I'll get a chance. So tell us how you heard about the news of being selected to compete at our national games, the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games in Orlando. How did you get selected, and what sport?
How I got selected, Special Olympics New York based it on the 2019 Summer Games, which is I won 3 gold medals in my heat. So, and then plus I kept running and training, and we're doing hashtag 10 a day until K, brought to you by Law Enforcement Towards One. So we're doing that right now on social media. So so when I first heard the news, it was surprising. It was surprising. So I'm training for it by eating healthy, running, and stuff like that.
Awesome. And what sport you're going to be competing?
I'm going to be competing in track and field, running long distance, 1500, I think, and 800, and shot put.
Awesome. So let's.
And I can't remember how much athletes are going to do from New York.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm sure if anyone from your program is listening, they can live tweet with us when this episode goes live at Special C Podcast. Just go to specialchronicles.com to find the link to follow us and tweet us on Twitter, and you can let us know later. But comment on how excited you are to compete at the USA Games.
I'm very excited. I can't wait to meet new friends. I can't wait for the experience. I can't wait to go to Disney, see what Disney World is like. Can't wait to go to Florida next year.
Yeah. Have you ever been there before? Have you ever been there before?
I've never been to Florida.
Yeah, I've never been there either.
Never been to Disney for a world, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
So what does the shine as one phrase, you see it on the screen behind me,
shine as one,
what does that mean to you? And
shine as one, because we're one team, one team, one person.
Awesome. And
shine as one together.
What advice do you have for our fellow athletes to compete at the USA Games? What advice, like train hard?
There's a triathlon.
What advice do you have for if there are any other athletes like myself that
eat healthy, stay away from sugar and salt, drink a lot of water to hydrate yourself. That's it.
We're going to go in and take a short break. When we come back, we'll get into just a couple of final thoughts at the end of the program. So we're just about done with this episode. But when we come back, we'll hear a little bit about athlete leadership and some final thoughts. A final question that I always conclude the conversation with. When our conversation with Katy from Special Olympics New York, going to the 2022 USA Games in Orlando, continues after break. We're going to take a quick break from our conversation today to learn how you can become a Special Chronicles supporter so we can continue to produce this podcast. Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. As an independent public media podcast, Special Chronicles will always be there for you. Now we're asking you to be there for us. As a nonprofit independent media organization, we can only make programs like Special Chronicles with listener support. Our programs provide weekly, candid, honest, and inspiring conversations about the people with disabilities community that creates awareness, support, and advocacy within each week's episode. Listeners tell us our shows are an enjoyable and necessary podcast for the intellectual and developmental disability community and everyone else who is able to listen to stories about life from a different angle. Please, if you and your family love our weekly podcast, make a one-time, monthly, or annual gift of thanks today. Support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. And now, back to the show to continue the conversation today. And back to the show. We're back. This is Daniel, founder of Special Chronicles and Southern Tribal International Global Messenger. I guess it's Katy from Special Olympics New York, going to the USA Games 2022 in Orlando. So, Katy, tell us how you got involved in the athlete leadership programs and
Athlete leadership, they just select me, and I was good. I'm a good leader to other athletes. I'm a role model to the young athletes. So we're building up Special Olympics New York like I want to do, especially in Rockland County. We need more. Rockland County needs at least unified sport, especially people outside of college and outside of high school. We need to build that up here in Rockland County, and we need more coaches in Rockland County. So contact our regional person at specialolympics-newyork.org. So
awesome.
if you're listening out there, Rockland County, please
get involved.
Take your time out and look at us athletes. After a year of lockdown, we were isolated. We didn't know we needed to see each other in person.
Awesome.
So please get your volunteer out there. Be a coach. Volunteer. It will change your life forever.
Awesome.
I promise you.
So what advice do you have for fellow athletes to participate in the athlete leadership programs? If they want to become a athlete leader like yourself, what advice do you have for them?
Advice, just to be a good speaker and just talk about how Special Olympics changed your life. Get your story out there and why you joined Special Olympics. It's most important.
Awesome.
Get your story out there.
And you started a few years ago, actually, after we first met in Los Angeles, you started blogging on specialchronicles.com. So people want to read Katy's blogs on specialchronicles.com/Katy Sanchez. That link will be in the show notes for this on specialchronicles.com/podcast 443. But if you go to specialchronicles.com/Katy Sanchez, you can read some of Katy's old blogs. Tell us, Katy, I'm gonna kind of combine these last two questions for the segment in one. So tell us what you enjoy most about blogging on Special Chronicles, and what does what do you enjoy about blogging?
I enjoy blogging because it gives me my word out there, and I just like to write. I just take my time, sit down when I have time. I love to write about things.
Awesome.
So let's.
So yes.
So please check my blog on specialchronicles.com/Katy Sanchez. Yes. I'm going to be doing another blog. I'm going to be another blog when it gets closer to the 2022 USA Games.
So you guys, so keep following us. Specialchronicles.com/Katy specialchronicles.com/Katy Sanchez to read Katy's old blogs and to read some new blogs coming up. So what does being an athlete leader, what does athlete leadership mean to you? Katy? Are you there, Katy? I think she's frozen. Oh, okay. No, I think you're frozen, Katy. So what does being an athlete leader and athlete leadership mean to you?
An athlete leader means to me, I've put my story out and they were amazed at it. So I just let other athletes to speak because I had my turn and I'm giving the other athletes a chance to speak and get their story out. Perfect.
So we're going to go ahead and take a one final break. When we come back, we'll get into some final thoughts as well as a question I always include these podcasts, these conversations with at the end as we wrap up. Our guest is Katy Sanchez from Special Olympics New York, Team New York, going to the 2022 USA Games. When this episode conversation continues after the break. And hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break from our conversation today to hear a message from our partner. Support for Special Chronicles comes from ComEd. Special Chronicles is proud to partner with the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives and really is powering us here at Special Chronicles to keep the lights on and our technology is powered on. As ComEd powers the lives of us, they're literally giving a voice to people with special needs. We thank ComEd for the generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. And now we return to our conversation. This episode continues right now. And we're back. Our conversation with Katy Sanchez continues right now. This is Daniel, founder of Special Chronicles and a Southern Shriver International Global Messenger. Katy, so let's get some brief plugs out of the way. If people, again, want to read your blogs, specialchronicles.com/Katy Sanchez is where they can go. All these links will be in the show notes. If they want to follow you on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, it's at
Katy Bebop Player.
Awesome. So you guys go look up and please follow Katy. I'm sure she'll be sharing her training, her journey, her time training and being at the USA Games next year. So go follow her. And if you want to, like Katy said, get involved and learn more about Special Olympics New York, Special Olympics-ny.org, right? To get involved.
Please get involved, people.
So once again, that's Special Olympics-ny.org. And if you want to get involved and learn more and get involved in the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games.org is where you can go. 2022 Special Olympics USA Games.org. All the links will be.
That I told you that there's a Special Olympics USA Games app. You can download it on your phone.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Make sure you download the app so you can follow us.
Go to either the iPhone or the Google Play Store.
Android and iPhone. So just type in Special Olympics USA Games.
So you guys go type in Special Olympics USA Games, get that app, and I'm assuming the results and other things about our national games will be on there. So awesome. So and again, I'm sure that there's a link to that on 2022 Special Olympics USA Games as well. Specialchronicles.com is for links to follow Special Chronicles on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You can also subscribe to our newsletter. Remember to do what you do with these podcasts. Follow, rate, review us on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio app, and wherever you get your podcasts, and share this episode, please. If you like this, share this. If you listen to this the audio podcast, share it. There should be a little share icon next to where the play button is. There should be a little share icon. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter Live, I think we'll be on all three of those. You can share this episode. You can retweet us, share this episode. It really helps to grow our audience of over 14,000 average monthly listeners. Katy, it's been a joy having you on. What advice do you have for our fellow over 6 million Special Olympics athletes across the globe to compete at their local country's national games, whether it's USA Games or their local national games?
Just keep trying your best. And remember, the Special Olympics athlete will let me win. If I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. Brave in the attempt. That's what I do every single day.
Awesome. Is there any final thoughts on your overall time here today on your returning on the Special Chronicles show?
Thank you, Daniel, for having me.
Awesome. It's been a joy to have you on, Katy. Once again, our guest is Katy Sanchez from Special Olympics New York, Team New York, who's going to be competing at the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games in Orlando next year. I always conclude these conversations with a witty, powerful question, and I'm gonna, as you know, Katy, the inclusion revolution is is a big part of our Special Olympics movement. I've got it on the side of my shirt here. I don't know if you, well, no, on the side of this, I got too many stuff on here. So on the side of the shirt, you see it says the revolution is inclusion. So with inclusion being a big part of the movement, what does inclusion mean to you?
Inclusion means that go out into the community. It doesn't matter if you're a disability or ability. It doesn't matter. You're a person. You should be all included as one. We're a community. We unite as one.
We unite as one, and we shine as one, right?
We shine as one, and we unite as one. Community, unity.
Perfect way to wrap up this episode, and that's a wrap. Our guest has been Katy Sanchez from Special Olympics New York, who will be competing at the 2022 Special Olympics USA Games. Follow her. We'll hopefully bring you coverage. Hopefully. And I'm Daniel. SpecialChronicles.com is where you can go to follow us. Katy's been a joy having you on. Hopefully, we'll have you on again. And until then, have a great day, and we'll see you guys next week. Stay tuned, because next week we've got the third edition of the Voices of Champions talks will be rebroadcasted live next Monday, 6 p.m. Central, right here on SpecialChronicles.com. We'll see you next week. Take care, and truth included.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.